Okay, welcome to day 4 of SCCM 2012. And the question there are some new things I was trying to ask today. First of all, of course, again, as always, welcome to IT Professional Courses Online Academy. And we're doing all these courses, and I'll be sending you email for the upcoming courses as well. And there will be upcoming. There's another, group of students who are asking for SCCM class, so there will be another SCCM class starting. Those who were not able to attend this time can attend at that time. And also, Exchange Server is starting soon. So 2012, 2013, as well as Office 365 included, which are actually two separate courses. But let's go ahead now with SCCM. And you must have already visited itprofessionalcourses.com/academy, and you're continuously logging in there. We've been adding a lot of other things like resume help, as well as job postings. So let's just get going, and there will be more features added continuously there. So keep visiting. So this is the book I wanted to refer. This is very a comprehensive book, and I guess the one of the few books which you should have as a reference for SCCM 2012 R2. Make sure you have SCCM 2012 R2, not just SCCM 2012, right? So let's go ahead. Whose SCCM lab is up to the last tasks we performed? Were you able to deploy SCCM client to Windows 7 and 8? Does your Windows clients show yes? And when I say the last one, does your Windows clients show yes? This is the picture I was referring to. And how many of us who have the clients showing in the devices, when you go to assets and compliance, and under the overview, and then you go to devices, are your clients even discovered there? If they are discovered, are they showing under this column of client as yes or no? If this is the case, this means that SCCM server has detected those Windows clients in the network, and the SCCM software or SCCM client software on those Windows client machines is communicating with the SCCM server. So please get to your machines, and I really need to see this screenshot whenever, as soon as possible. You can send especially this one when you're opening your labs now, because if client Windows client machines are communicating with SCCM server, this would show that they are in the devices, in the assets and compliance. But I'll be going there as well. And of course, when we start deploying the client, and on the Windows 7 or Windows 8 or Windows 10, you're deploying the client, SCCM client. So this, in the task manager, this is the proof that it is in the process of deployment. So if you have deployed from SCCM server, the SCCM client, to the Windows 7, Windows 8 machines, you could just quickly look at there. In the last video, I was doing that, right? So you must know already. Today's topics: client installation, system 2012 R2, configuration. So we did do some of the client installation, but there are many ways to do that. And configuration manager 2012 R2 client installation. Then there is oh, seriously, last time as well as this time. Guys, just a sec. Okay, resuming it again. You must make sure that this is showing there. So let's just go ahead and try to know our today's topics, and let me know if you. So guys, also one more thing, I needed to make sure that if you're having real trouble with your labs, let me know. We can decide any one of our 2 days to be, let's do our labs together, and where I'll be connecting to each one of your machines one by one, and then I will try to troubleshoot with you or try to help you where you're stuck. So if your labs are in trouble, you should just let me know. that either any of the Tuesday or any of the Thursday you want to dedicate for just configuring your labs or just helping you out with the labs. I'll be asking that in an email as well. That if you want, if majority of you, majority, it has to be majority, right? That majority of you want to have your majority of you want to have your lab. You need my help, and you must have TeamViewer with you. So I will be helping you out. Any one of the Tuesdays or Thursdays you want to dedicate for, please help me in my lab. So we're gonna do that. But during the week, you can just let me know wherever you're stuck, right? And then I can help you out. So today's topics are these. I have lined up those topics, but hopefully we'll be able to do the actual, capture and deploying of any of the OS by or on this Thursday. But before the capturing and deployment, we need to really make sure that we are good with our basic environment of SCCM. So these are the topics. I'm just gonna go ahead now, and if there are any comments, you can just put it on the chat. I'm looking continuously at the chat. Just a review of all the System Center products. There is that Virtual Machine Manager, Service Manager, System Center Orchestrator, System Center Operations Manager, which is SCOM, and the introductory labs for this will be at the end of this course. Endpoint protection for System Center endpoint protection, then System Center DPM, Data Protection Manager, which is for just taking backups. System Center Configuration Manager is this course, and App Controller System Center. So at the end of this course, there is that introductory labs to System Center Operations Manager and System Center Virtual Machine Manager, which are both very tough, separate courses. But I'm just putting introductory labs for that, so you get the most out of this course. And the same is the case with the other courses as well. When we are starting with VMware, we're going to be doing the VMware View as well, and some more of the critical VMware labs as well. Okay, let's just get started, and say for Exchange as well, of course. Okay, so overview, we already have deployed the primary site and with SQL database, and we have two machines in our primary site of SCCM server, and we are trying to communicate with those machines. We have deployed already some of the system roles that the SCCM requires. It also deployed some extra roles. So today we're going to further configure our environment, and we're going to talk about more stuff. Also, again, reminder that please send your screenshots as soon as possible. I need to know how many of you are really, up to the last labs that we have done, last tasks in the last class we have done. Okay, so this is our environment, and we have Windows 8, Windows 7. Guys, if you have 16 GB of RAM, even with SSD drive, I would recommend that just start any one of the client machines, Windows 8 or Windows 7. Because if you are having trouble of everything is freezing up because you're starting 4 machines, because memory is of course very critical if you are working with 4 machines, and try to stop any of the other processes in the background in your laptop or in your desktop. Okay, well, this is our environment, so I'll just go ahead and client solution is SCCM 2012 R2. Let's look at the methods available. We did look at those methods. 2 of the methods we did try, and we tried to apply those 2 methods. One was site-wide installation of SCCM client setting, but I'm just going to go through these again, but a bit quickly, and then we're going to go to the other methods as well. So client push installation is what we did. Client push installation happens when an SCCM server makes a network connection to the client, a machine where configuration manager client is to be installed, and then begins the client installation process. We did that, and I'm just going to review that too. For this, system must be discovered, and the administrator should have configured the firewall exceptions. In our case, firewalls are off, right? And this one requires administrator to start the client push installation. We did try to do that. So if I just go back now, and we're going to be thoroughly checking our environment, because if our environment is perfect, we're good. I hope everyone is able to see my virtual machine. So everyone is able to see my virtual machine? Yes? No? Maybe? Yes. Okay. So everyone is able to see my virtual machine, right? Everyone, every two, every three. So I hope your machines are logged in as well. Okay, thank you for confirming that. Okay, four. Every four. Yeah. So I'm just gonna go to my client side, and on the client side, we did try to deploy, and I showed you the client deployment going on there at that time, and we just knew what's going on. Um, so client one Windows 8 is now configured, and if I go to, well, is it configured or not? Let's just check that. So I'm just going to both the clients. What we did was that we deployed by manual method. So what do I mean by not manual? Manual I'm going to show today, and with group policy as well I'm going to show today. So client push installation was the method we deployed, and for that what we did was, so first of all, I'm just logged into my server 1, which is domain controller. Server 2 is the SCCM server, and I have pinned this SCCM console, so I don't have to go inside and look for it. So just pin it to the taskbar and just click it there, and it's gonna open straight. Here, when it opens, it's opening in the assets and compliance, and we have software library here, we have monitoring here, we have administration. In assets and compliance, definitely I would just go for devices here, and okay, so if I look at my devices, Windows 7, SCCM Win 7 is showing yes, and SCCM Win 8 is showing yes, and we know what that means. That client activity under its activity is saying active, but the main thing is that Windows 7, Windows 8 machine is communicating to SCCM server through the SCCM client software. So I really need this screenshot from every one of you, that your clients are showing yes under assets and compliance and devices. Those who have already sent a screenshot but missed this, please do send this, or also if you haven't sent it yet, please send it, but make sure that your both clients are showing yes. So this means that SCCM server is in communication with those clients, which also means that we can deploy applications, we can deploy operating system, override it, but the main thing is your environment is working fine, right? So once this is shown here, what we did for the client push was right click and install client. Yeah. So we tried this wizard for both the clients, right? Then the second method was that if we go to software library, were we able to go to software library or for administration? So if you go to, so there was a site-wide push. Let me just draw both of these there in the paintbrush. So if this is SCCM and these are our two clients here, so our server 02 and our Win 7 and Win 8. So right, so client push was the one way to do that, but it is manual, right? Client push, manual way of, so you right click a number of clients, you can right click a collection. We're going to be creating a collection as well now, but a client push is what we did, and one by one we can deploy the client or just select all the clients and do that. The second thing is the site-wide client SCCM client installation. SCCM client deployment. So that was that we configure site-wide installation. So whenever the clients are discovered, I should just mention that as well here. Whenever the Windows. So when I say clients, there's a confusion that is it SCCM client I'm talking about or it is Windows clients I'm talking about. So I'm just gonna say that whenever the Windows client machines or servers, or if cell phones are also configured, SCCM is configured to detect them, or cell the phones, tablets, whatever is in the environment that SCCM is configured to accept. So they are discovered. So client machines or servers, cell phones, tablets are discovered. The SCCM client is at once pushed. So we already configured it. So the thing here is that as soon as you introduce a new client, or suppose your Windows 7 just messed up and you just joined it to the domain at one again with a separate name, or Windows 8, or you just added a third, which I will be adding soon, which I said last time as well, Windows 10. But I'm sure that my 24 GB RAM will just wear thin, then and it's gonna be crying as well. Hey, because we already have a host OS as well. So Windows 7, Windows 8, Windows 10, when you introduce, so I already have set up, or we already had set up site-wide SCCM client deployment setting. So Win 7, Win 8, or whenever I introduce or join Windows 10 to domain, it is supposed to, SCCM is supposed to push the SCCM client to the new device as soon as it's in the domain and it's discovered. And we have also put that discover every device like in hours, right? I pushed we configured it to hours instead of days, so it's going to discover right away, and then it's going to deploy it there. So that is site-wide SCCM deployment, right? But if we go further, so yeah, where was the site? The site configuration is here, and this is where we can configure any settings for the site. So we went to the site. I'm just doing a review here, and then we went to the site, and there was an install client installation settings and client push installation. That's what we did in the site. So now there are some further settings, but before that, if I go to the client now, what is the proof that SCCM client is there? Okay, one proof we saw on the server side, which is good. Server is receiving SCCM server is receiving communication from its SCCM client from the Windows machines. So let's just go inside the Windows machine, Windows 8. For now, I'm in Windows 8. So if I go to in this area and go for the control panel here in Windows 8, Windows 7, of course, it's going to be a little different. And now I really feel that I should have Windows 10 as well. So definitely we're going to be deploying Windows 10 as well, and we're going to be deploying Windows 7, 8, and 10 through SCCM in bare metal machines as well. Anyway, then we won't be needing these already. What we have, or we're going to just keep it shut down. So what we are trying to do here is what am I doing here? I don't need OneDrive and all this. So yeah, there it is. So, okay, control panel here. So you may already know that where to look for SCCM client in Windows machines. We open the control panel, then we go for system and security, and then we go way down to this area, configuration manager, right? When we open configuration manager, now we see a lot of tabs here, and it's going to be very crucial that sometimes when the SCCM client is not communicating with SCCM server, it's crucial to know where to go for the which area of the client settings we need to go and tell the client that, hey, wake up, and you're not communicating with with your boss or SCCM server, and you need to really start communicating with the server as well. So there are many areas here. General option here is just telling you that who's your SCCM server, and the client certificate for now is self-signed. It's for security measures that we should have certificate from external certificate authority like GoDaddy or VeriSign or uh, digital site or something. Okay, digital cert, yeah. So connection type currently intranet, but it can be internet as well. And we're gonna be later in the end of the course. We're gonna be end classes. We're gonna be doing that, trying to at least configure something over the internet. Unique identifiers GUID and version this. We're going to be talking about that. What GUID is, just unique identification, right, for the client machine. Components, that's where all the components either installed or enabled is showing there. We're going to be coming back and forth here and checking some of the settings. But if you want to know that your client has successfully and completely installed, completely, so this area should be all full, right? Third thing, actions here. That's where we can try to push some settings. So software updates, deployment evaluation cycle, user policy retrieval and evaluation cycle. And you can see here run now, right? So these areas are, or machine policy retrieval. Suppose I have deployed an application or I have made some changes as SCCM. There is that, it takes time to reach, or maybe, we want to see that configuration right away now, uh, because we're not dealing with 10,000 machines or lots of machines. So in one machine, we want to see that setting happening as soon as possible. So we can come to this area, configuration manager client actions and machine policy retrieval and evaluation cycle, and we can click run now, and it's going to say the selected cycle will run and might take several minutes to finish. What it's saying is that whatever the policy changes we made there, just try to run it. If it was related to software inventory, or it was related to software updates, deployment, we're going to be doing the WSUS role, which was to deploy Windows updates. So at that time, we're not seeing that here now. So we're gonna just push this button, and it would try to communicate. This SCCM client on this Windows machine will try to communicate with the SCCM server, and try to ask, hey, we're waiting for something, Mister. When are you sending that? So this is the area where and then I don't want to do that through the GUI. So there is a PowerShell script that I'm going to be later showing, where we will be running that, and it's going to trigger these very things without us coming here to configuration manager, to control panel, and then it's going to just trigger communication between the SCCM client and SCCM server. So these are some of the areas that we will be visiting again and again. Actions area, then the site, it should be correct site, giving here definitely for the client, and then there are other local cache, where it caches some of the software, where it caches some of the information that later we would be really needing, that if we're deploying a software and there's a disconnection between the SCCM server, or the machine is disconnected. So it is, if we enable the cache settings, it's going to cache that software, and we can run it locally as well. If it was deployed and software was downloaded but it was not properly installed. But anyway, we're going to be coming here and trying to know more of the configuration. This is for the the configuration tab. This is for assigned configuration baseline. So when we are going for the compliance settings, we're going to be looking at this, and we're going to be viewing the report. And then finally the network, if there was some specific proxy settings you needed to configure, which in our case we don't have any, then we would have configured it, but we would just leave it like that. So first thing is that how to make sure that client settings are full. We go for configuration manager. So this is Windows 8, and then also if I put to test, I mean I want to search for another uh, area here. So in Windows, I want to search for software center. So if you're in front of your machines right now, you could just go for and type software center in your clients, and this is after your machines are showing in assets and compliance in the devices as yes, and in here your in control panel your configuration manager client we just saw is showing there. Then also you should be seeing this software center. This is also coming from configuration manager client deployment. So if you open that, so right now there's nothing, but definitely we're going to be starting to deploy software through SCCM to all the client machines. And whenever we publish that, it's going to be under the available software and under the installation status, installed software, and then there is that option that business hours are these where it should be from 5 a.m. to 10 p.m. The software could be deployed to all the machines. Then power management. These are the policies that SCCM can receive and configure accordingly. And then the remote control as well. And when we go to remote control, okay, I'll need to go on and up. Yeah, remote control. Then there are all those options that a client can also see. This is the client machine, right? So a client, and it's also depending on us what remote control option we want the clients to or end users to really watch. But this is the other two things on the client side. That software center, you should be seeing this after when you do a search. And in fact, when I have opened the software center, I'm gonna pin this to the taskbar as well. I don't want to search every time this software center, but this configuration manager inside the control panel, inside the system and security, configuration manager is already open. I've clicked it and it is this icon. If I pin this, if I try to pin this, right click it, it's just not offering this option. So yes, for the configuration manager we just have to go inside and properly, or create shortcut, we can do that too, right? So you're inside the control panel, system and security, you can just right click and create shortcut. You don't have to come in control panel and every time see that. So I created shortcut for this and pinned this to the taskbar. So if I close all the windows now, so there's the configuration inside the control panel, this is the software center. These are two things we will be again and again checking and coming and checking and refreshing. So that's why I just put these there. So in Windows 7 I'm just going there now. Let me know if you want me to repeat something, but in Windows 7 when we are going also, I'm just gonna double check if I already know from the server side that this machine is also communicating with the server through its SCCM software. So again, same places, control panel, system and security, this is Windows 7, and there you go, configuration manager is there. Is it fully installed? Is it completely installed? So yes, all the information that we saw in Windows 8 is all here as well, which are the components on the client side, that any policy we can change regarding the software, the power management, and operating system deployment, maintenance task, hardware inventory, anything we want to change, it's going to receive, because these components are installed here, it's going to receive that policy and it's going to start implementing those on this client or on all the clients. Actions, again, same user cycle policy. This is just to trigger that communication when we don't want to wait for the policy to come to the client. And we're going to be coming here back, and but the rest of the things are same. Site should be Tor, and cache we're going to later configure that network. Okay, good. So Windows 7 client is good. I'm just going to quickly add right click. Yeah, it also has a create shortcut, so I'm just going to put it here instead of always coming down to control panel, system security, as well as the software center. Software. So what is software center again? As I said in the previous classes, that software center is Microsoft's policy about giving certain level of control to the end user in selecting what policies, not policies, what applications they want to deploy on their own. Maybe they don't want those applications. Maybe they want it. Some applications, of course, are, if the company says they are compulsory, right? But some applications are not compulsory. So that's why, and some applications are actually optional. Maybe there are some other help applications, some advanced calculator, or for accounts department, and for extra software for account department, which is not a policy but are helpful. So it would try to deploy according to the needs, all the software, and they should be coming in the software center. They should be showing the software center. There's one more thing inside the software center that we need to further configure, if not working now, is find additional applications from the application catalog. So we did, anyone remembers that last time we deployed two SCCM roles, and they were both about application catalog. So once inside the software center, if the client has access to this software center, then, or if the administrator has allowed for the client to go inside and check all this, then although it's a company policy, in some places I've seen that they do allow that, and other companies, they know that their employees are too adventurous, so let's not give them a lot of options. Anyway, so this is where available software installation status, if it is installing, and installed software, whatever is installed already. But here, okay, again, but here it's applications for the, so this is further bigger catalog. And if I click here, it's what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to open a perfect intranet site for all the list of software. So it is a application catalog. It's supposed to open a site where when in future we're going to be deploying applications, those applications should be showing up in the catalog. I've just opened it, and let's just go to tools and try to, okay, so if you are all trying that, it might be giving this error, cannot connect to the application server, and there's a workaround for that too. But we're going to be deploying that. But you can see that Microsoft System Center 2012 R2 configuration measures there, and back to application catalog or back to application requests. There is that my application request area, then there is application catalog, and already my devices, the setting cannot be configured because of a network communication or a configuration problem. So this do come, and there is a workaround for that. We're going to be later working on that too. But I just wanted to introduce all the areas of the client side of the configuration manager. So software center is there. There's application catalog here. We did deploy this roles for application catalog. We're gonna further configure that, and we need to do some further. There's a workaround for that too. So this is done. We now know that at least there. So in the client side, there are two areas we need to go and properly see them. So client side is good. If you can see all these in your clients, you're good. So let's just go and see other topics. So I'm just gonna start the slide. So client push installation is what we right click the client directly and push and go to the wizard and do the installation and expect the SCCM client to be deployed. And if I go further here, so there was automatic site-wide client push installation. I just showed you that, and the purpose also we discussed that whenever it discovers a client Windows client, it's just going to automatically try to deploy the software. Then software update point installation. This is again referring to Windows Windows Server Update Services, which is responsible for deploying Windows updates, Windows critical updates, software updates, driver updates. So we can deploy that too. But manual installation is what we need to know. So sometimes what happens is that there are few machines out of 100 or just 1000 machines. Few machines are just so stubborn, they're not getting automatically any software. So you really need to know told the desktop, hey, try to do some, try to make sure that NSOCF is working and certain commands are working, but it's not working at all. So you remotely connect to that client machine, and you need to do the manual installation as well. So if we go there, so this method allows you to install the configuration manager clients manually. The installation can be initiated by copying the SCCM setup.exe file on the system and running it within a user account which has enough permissions to install the software. This program and its supporting files can be found in the client folder. So this is very crucial to know how to manually install a client, because some machines and servers are stubborn and they are like really stuck in. You really have to go there, or you have to remotely connect to those machines, and you need to really go manually do the whole thing and make sure that they're communicating. So that's one of the few things we need to know. This is for troubleshooting as well, that whenever you're stuck, this is one of the last resorts, not the last resort. So if we want to do manual installation, so according to the scenario, like one thing is that our environment right now is configured with this site-wide SCCM client deployment, right? So if we uninstall our SCCM client, we're gonna be that functionality will just start pushing it again. So what we need to do is first we need to uninstall the client from one of the machines and then install it again. You know what? In huge environments, when you deploy a client, sometimes it really becomes a big issue that clients are not deploying, and you really need to troubleshoot. Maybe you need to uninstall the client, because without SCCM client there, you cannot do anything with that machine, right? Through SCCM. And if you cannot control your Windows machines through SCCM, you're not an SCCM administrator. So that's why there are 9 or 10 ways of deploying client, 9 or 10 ways, because some of the ways just don't work sometimes. So you need to know the ups and downs of that. Client installation itself gives you really hard time sometimes. So what I'm planning to do is, if we divided it into major steps, that uninstall. So first, turn off automatic site-wide client push. I'll turn it off. We will turn it off. Second thing, create. That we'll do later. Uninstall the SCCM client. Third thing, we're going to install manually first. There's a fourth thing as well. We're going to be installing, which is the next lab, installing client via group policy. We need to know all these ways, otherwise we're stuck, and they'll be asking us, hey, are you really a SCCM admin? Because if it's just stuck for 2 days now and you can't do anything, then there's a question mark here. So we don't want that question mark, right? Well, these are the 2 ways we should know, but there are other ways as well. What are the other ways? But those will be coming with the other labs. This is what you can troubleshoot if you get to see a stubborn client. So just a sec. Okay, so what we are trying to do here is that we will be so first, turn off automatic site-wide client push. So let's do that first. I'm gonna go to the SCCM server 2, and I need to go to the site-wide client push, because as soon as I uninstall the SCCM client from a machine, it's going to start installation, and that's annoying. I mean, that's annoying at times when we don't want it to. Otherwise, it's very, very good that it's doing that, right? So client settings, no, it's not the client settings. If I go to sites here, and if we are able to go to client installation settings, click here and click push installation. If you click that, um, uncheck enable automatic site-wide client push installation. So in most cases, in most of our labs, we would want it to be checked because we're going to be doing a lot of messy labs here, which would require troubleshooting as well. In every lab, in our clients need to be having this SCCM, client. Windows client needs to have SCCM client, and this is the fastest way to do it. As soon as it discovers, oh, there is no SCCM client, it will at once deploy it. So we're going to be deploying over on bare metal machines through SCCM or our operating system, and if it finds that there's no SCCM client, it's going to do that. So it's very important. But right now, I'm just unchecking it. Apply. Okay. This is what we need to know earlier. After, because later we're gonna have labs with some of the troubleshooting areas. So we need to come back here, back and forth to do stuff and to enable, disable it. So I have unchecked it. And second thing, let's go to Windows 8. And so the second step now, if I go to the major steps, is that uninstall the system client and then install manually, and how to do it manually as well. We're gonna discover that. So if if we uninstall the client, what will happen? Of course, Software Center will go away, and Configuration Manager in Control Panel will go away. And this is important to know how to uninstall and reinstall. So okay, I'm just going to the Control Panel again in Windows 8. You could just do it in Windows 7 as well. So we can go to the programs, the programs and features, just like any other software. We're gonna just try to see where it is first. And second thing, these are the areas for Visual C++. You can see that it's not there, right? And I just came here, okay, let's just uninstall that. No. So I'm just going to go to C drive and go to program files. Let me just see if I do. No, don't go for x86 if you're following that. Program files, and we have VMware here, and it's sorry Windows not in program files. Windows SCCM, CCM. Yeah, see, I'm just doing it out of my memory, and that's why two dead ends, and then I come here. So CCM setup here, right? So where am I again? So let me just go back where I was starting. So I was first going to program files. Oh yeah, just like any other software, this is here. But no, you can see all the C++ redistribution that does come with the SCCM, but removing them will not remove the client. So second thing, I went to program files. No, there is nothing called SCCM here, because it's not software. It doesn't. Its installation paths are not in program files. So where do we go? Windows and then CCM. A CCM folder is inside the C drive, and then Windows folder, and then here you should have the bin. So I'm just gonna go directly and try to check for the CCM file. There it is. One is this application. So I'll just quickly click anywhere and type CC. Well, every other file is CC here. So CCM evolve, CCM exec. Okay. Once we have this file here, now the switch is /uninstall, right? So let me just show you the command line here as well. So CCM setup. I'm just putting in Google and getting that /CCM setup /uninstall. And that's the TechNet article. It's opening today, and there it is. So how to install configuration client, right? So CCM setup /uninstall, right? How to block confusion manager clients, overview of confusion. That's the only thing. I just wanted to make sure that okay, there is PowerShell uninstall SCCM client as well, but there are many PowerShell scripts that do that. But the main thing is this path. So I'm just gonna do that and show you how to uninstall. And it's good that we try to talk about it now instead of later. So let me just okay. So how do we install? We're gonna just go from command prompt to this area, right? And then slash ccm setup .exe slash uninstall or okay. So how do I go there? Click anywhere here and on your keyboard, Windows key and X, Windows key and X, and go to command prompt, admin, right? So once we are in the admin privileges, I'm looking for this path, and once I'm in this path, of course, that file will be there. So cd backslash from here, cd, actually, I was there, at least in Windows, so I could have done cd dot instead of backslash, but cd Windows, and then cd ccm, and press tab to autocomplete, which is already there. So that's that in the folder called ccm. Then dir, it has huge amount of files here, of course, as we can see in the background as well. So I'm just gonna go down to ccm and press tab again. There's a ccm 32-bit launcher. I hope you're able to all see that. Is it clear, this command prompt? Can you put yes, no in your chat? Is the command prompt clear, or you want me to put the magnifying glass for the command prompt? Guys, can you say yes, no, or it's clear, right? Okay, while you were thinking yes, no, it's, you can clearly see that command prompt. Okay, so thanks. So I just pressed tab, and this is the first file. So SCCM tab, and you know what? I should just not go. Every file is CCM. So CCM SE. There's no CCM SE. So I'm just gonna, seriously, that was the easiest task. CCM exec, sorry. So CCM exec, and that that it's not CCM exec as well, and I showed you that. Where's the? Oh yeah, here. It was CCM setup dot exec, and somehow it is just not appearing. Oh yeah, there is the page. So let me just show you again. CCM setup dot, it's not CCM exec, it's this page here, CCM setup, right? So where is CCM setup? You won't find, there's a separate folder for that, and excuse me. So is there a folder called CCM setup? So cd ccm, no. So if I go dir, we just go for ccm setup then command, but I'll just quickly check here if there's a ccm setup or any other folder that starts. Nope. So it has to be ccms SQL search. Seriously? So I just go to search and ccm setup. And what do you know? There's no CCM setup because this is a separate folder. Okay, so we were inside CCM, which is also from SCCM. There's a CCM cache which we haven't configured. Then there is CCM setup folder here. Okay, sorry. I should have come straight here, but you know, discovery mode. Sometimes, you know, people think, oh, it's so easy command. Now when I start doing that, oh, where was it? Okay, so anyway, CCM setup, Windows CCM setup, not CCM, and definitely we're not gonna forget that now, especially me. So there's the CCM setup. So in command prompt, we can just go for not CCM. So I'm gonna go out from here. So cd dot dot, and we are still inside Windows, and go for cd CCM. Press tab, press tab, press tab. CCM setup. Okay, sorry. So here we have a straightforward command CCM, press tab. There's a CCM setup.cap, we don't need that. Press tab again. There's a CCM setup.exe slash uninstall. And if we use psi exec from the command prompt with the proper script, we can send this to hundreds of clients, right? With the script psi exec, right? That can let you enter the command prompt remotely of every machine. Okay, anyway, so enter. So what's going on? If there's an error, it's gonna show there. If not, it's working, right? Um, Task manager. There's that CCM that came up again. Okay, I can do that in Windows 7 as well, right? So let's just do the Windows 7 as well. Task manager, is there CCM setup showing here? No. If I open this command prompt in Windows 7 as well, because we need to deploy with two labs, one with group policy and one with this, so we need two machines. So on second machine I'm also uninstalling that. So I'm already opened into Windows System 32 in Windows 7. cd dot dot, enter. I'm coming back. cd CCM setup, enter, and then here you are. Yes, same folder, CCM. Press tab, there's exe slash uninstall, enter. Now we didn't have look at there. So CCM setup, whenever it's in process, this shows in the task manager, right? So it is showing there. It is still showing there. Task manager, it's working. It's in progress of uninstallation, and it's good that okay. Oh yeah. Now for the CCM client setup, it is programmed. So there is in the message where what I was trying to look was for uninstallation of this. Oh, and it's gone. And you can see that. Okay, thank you, Ali. And there is configuration manager. So I had created that or pinned to the taskbar the software center. It is gone, and now a configuration manager shortcut is also showing blank. So I think SCCM is gone, and because we have not configured site-wide automatic push, so it's not going to automatically push. While on Windows 7, it is still uninstalling. So one more thing I wanted to show here was that was pointed out in the chat. If I go to C drive in program files, in so there is a Microsoft configuration manager. Well, I just uninstalled it, but if it was, oh sorry, it's Microsoft configuration manager. Okay, I uninstalled both, but we're gonna be seeing that it is showing in the program files in as a Microsoft configuration manager folder, which I could not find here or in the Windows 7. But definitely now we're going to be deploying it in two newer ways, and then we're going to be seeing that as well, right? So if it is uninstalled, the client is uninstalled, what is further proof? So if I go to control panel, of course, in Windows 8, system security, and go way down, the configuration manager is gone from here, right? And of course, I would not find, if I go to search in Windows 8, software center is also gone. Okay, good enough proof that it's gone. Second thing, if I go to, okay, I'll go to server. I'm just giving it time. I'm just going back to Windows 7 machine as well. CCM setup in the taskbar is gone. This means CCM setup is gone here as well. If I go and check in the control panel, this is the system and security configuration manager showing here. If I F5 it now, or go there and come back, okay, gone. So it's a good proof that it's gone. But if I go to server manager as well on SCCM as well, the server side, um, asset and compliance devices, it is still showing that it's communicating, but obviously it's going to update and then itself. Or if I close this console and open it, sometimes it has sent that message. The clients have sent that message that there is no longer SCCM is uninstalling, and it does not show up in your console for some time. So when you close and open the console, it just opens that, right? It just shows that. So if I go for devices, it is still not updated from the client side. It should be showing no, right, for Windows 7 and Windows 8. Okay, so once they are uninstalled, let's just go back and install it with the proper with the other two methods that we were discussing. So one is the manual installation of SCCM. So for manual installation, on the server side, so on the SCCM server, we should be having a folder that is already shared for the client files to be accessed by those accounts which are privileged. So I'm from within Windows 8. Suppose this is that stubborn machine where the user is saying, hey, SCCM is not installed, so I really wanted that application and you're not pushing that application to me, so would you please come here and solve it? So you come there, go to the machine, and then you so I want to access the network and the shared folder for SCCM server, that shared folder where the client files are available. So I'm just trying to access that. So first I log in from my domain admin privileged account in the Windows 8 machine, which we are already logged in, and then go to run // what's the name of our server? Where's the name I put there? Server 1. Okay, server 1. Well, it's showing there anyway. Server 1, press OK. And this is not server 1 is the domain controller. So still I'm here, server 2. Sorry. So in a class, somebody would have just pointed me out right then and there. No, it's server 2. But here in online, I mean, yeah, we're not. The audio is not on, and it takes time to chat. Okay, so if you are all on server 2 shared folders and it is a SCCM server, there is that SCCM site, SMS site, SMS store, and SMS content. So if we go to SMS store, which is the Toronto site name as well, and then you see the client folder there on the SMS store there. And you see here the two folders as well, and CCM setup, which we can use to deploy. Also, I think the next step, well, in the next step I'm going to talk about that. But anyway, so CCM setup is here, and there is x64 and i386. So if there's a 32-bit client, you just go for that folder. But it's supposed to discover that. So this is the application. I will just double click that, press yes, and that's it. Nothing. It shows nothing. Obviously we have to go to task manager, and CCM setup is showing here now, right? So, and in SCCM client, we're gonna just keep it for the installation through group policy. So first of all, what the steps are there for manual deployment is that you access the shared folder on the SCCM server where the client files are available, right? So this is just installing, and it's going to install. Since we don't have any other automated site-wide client push method, so we're good to go for the second one, which is the group policy, through group policy that we can deploy. So Windows 8, we did it with manual setup, and it was quite easy, right? So let's just go back to the slide and check out so the manual installation is done. So group policy based installation, as the name says, you can install the configuration manager client using group policy. When you assign the configuration manager client to computers by using group policy, the client installs when the computer first starts, right? When you publish the System Center 2012 R2 configuration manager client to users by using group policy, the client displays in the control panel. If we have done all the group policy deployment, we would know that what is publish and what is assigned. But we're going to be assigning it. We're going to forcefully assign this to the Windows 7 machine. Um, also we need to log in from a normal user account. So let me just put the major steps for that. Once we're talking about SCCM client depl from GPO, group policy object, so there will be major steps would be that create a new user, non-privileged normal user, and we will be logging in from Windows 7 for that. Also um, uh, through GPO or group policy object, uh, deploy SCCM client only to Win7. So before that, create an OU and add Win7 to this OU, right? Create an OU called management and add Win7 to this OU. So this is a scenario here, and we don't want this group policy to be deploying SCCM to all the clients or servers, because on the domain level, if we put this policy, it's going to deploy it on the domain controllers as well, right? So we don't want it to deploy on SCCM server, on a domain controller, and not on Windows 8 as well, because Windows 8 already we deployed SCCM manually. So through GPO, deploy SCCM client only to Win7. So we're gonna just create that policy and attach it to or link it to the management OU, and management OU just has Windows 7, and then we're going to be log in from the new user called SCCM user 01. Wow, I couldn't think of anything longer. So SCCM user 01, and since this policy will be assigned, so again, so GPO deploy this. And how do we deploy? Assign the policy, and it should deploy when user logs in. So what do we get to check here? That when the user logs in having no privileges, does the policy still forcefully install or not? Does the client, SCCM client, still forcefully install or not, right? So we're gonna check the user permissions as well for that. Otherwise, definitely we're gonna go for first we log in from user. If you get an error, then we just log off and log in from administration account, and it's gonna just deploy, right? So we are deploying this to the computer policy. We're gonna be configuring it that way, that the computer should get it. So, and we need to place that user as well, SCCM user 01, place it, user and computer place it to that management OU. So once this scenario is here, okay, all right, well, okay, later I would need it to put there, because when you put it on the paintbrush, it just becomes part of the paintbrush. You cannot edit that anymore. Anyway, so I'm just gonna quickly do all those steps and come back. So on the server 2, on the server 1 actually, where the domain controller is, I'm gonna quickly go for tools, go to Active Directory user and computers, and okay, it's showing a lot of folders which suppose we're not don't want to see all the folders. So why there it's showing all the folders? Because in view we had clicked the advanced features, it just shows all the folders. Otherwise we're just concerned with these day-to-day tasks folder. So I'm just gonna go for new here and go to, so right clicking the domain here and going to new and creating a organizational unit management. Press OK. Okay. Inside the management, I can just create that user, new user. So I'm just gonna right click the management and go to new, and then go to user, and so SCCM user 01, Control C, tab, Control V, SCCM user 01, next, and go for, guys, again, if you need help with your labs, and majority of you want my help, we can dedicate one of the class days to connect, and you will all be on TeamViewer, and I'm gonna connect to one by one everyone in TeamViewer. If you're stuck in anywhere in the lab, and it's lots of you who are stuck, then we can just connect or dedicate one of the days. So there are many other labs coming which will be much more complicated, so then we can have, I will also offer at that time. Okay, anyway, the user is created here. So I'm just gonna drag the machine as well. So in the computers area, there is SCCM Win7-PC. I'm just gonna drag it to management OU as well, and don't show that again. Yes. So the management OU now has that user which is going to log in, and that machine on which we are putting that policy. So once this is all done, I hope I'm not going too fast. Let me know if I'm going fast, so I could go faster. Just kidding. So I'll just be slowing down and having that sip. Okay. So second thing, tools and group policy management. So we really need to know how to fight with the client, SCCM client, SCCM client, not the business client, right? This is like trying to know, this is the fourth way of deploying it, right? But is that it can become that burdensome that you need to know all that. Okay, group policy management, and here I'm just creating a new OU. So I'm just going to the domains, and then I'm going to the domain name. I could just put the policy here, but I already have the management OU here. Best practice of group policy is that always created in group policy objects. So right click here, new, and we can just create SCCM client push. Okay, that's it. SCCM 2012 R2, not the simple 2012 client push, and press OK, and then right click this, and then we need to link it to the management, right? So right click the management OU inside the group policy management, and then click link an existing GPO, and there it is. System SCCM 2012 R2 client push, press OK. Okay, so now we will be just editing the policy. So I'll click the policy here, some message pops up, do not show that, press OK, and right click this policy and click edit. Now we're just going to configure how to push the client, but there is one more thing we need to configure here for the policy. Let me just go back here. So group policy, this is just normal stuff. If I just expand that and go way down, there are other ways to do that, but what we are trying to do is group policy management, pushing through group policy. So yeah, there it is. And okay, so if you're planning to deploy SCCM 2012 clients using GPO, you must make sure that in the client push installation properties, enable automatic site-wide client push installation is not checked. Um, so we did on the server side disable this enable automatic site-wide client push installation. If this is checked, then the client would not. Then the client would get installed on all the systems after its discovery. So first uncheck the option enable automatic site-wide client push installation and proceed. We did that already, right? So that's why we were able to do manual push. Otherwise, as soon as you uninstall the client, it just reinstalls again. So we will create a new policy first. Click on server manager tools. Yeah, we went there, and we create a policy deploying. Well, we just create our own policy with another name. Then we click edit. So computer configuration policies. Now where do we go inside? And when we open the GPO editor, expand computer configuration policies and administrative templates, we need to add two templates for the configuration manager. And where are those templates? Now we need to actually go to the DVD and so what are those templates for anyway? Uh, so when you the group policy normally has all the policies for Windows 7, Windows 8 server, right? All the portions, all the areas of Windows 7, Windows 8. But if you add the administrative templates of configuration manager, it's going to have policies specific to configuration manager. You can have administrative templates added for MS Office, and it's going to have a lot of policies added for controlling different areas of MS Office or Adobe Acrobat. I mean, you can have administrative templates for any software if the vendor of the software has created those templates. So you could just handle any area of that software through group policy. So this is a source DVD. It's a SMSF. So we'll just go there, and you also add it from drive program file. So either we can go in the DVD, or we can just go to our already installed SCCM server where we installed that. We can just go to this path as well. You need to add two templates: config mgr assignment and config mgr installation. Click on close. So anyway, I'm just going to go to these paths and try to access those administrative templates, and then try to add that here. So for that, I need to go back. If we want to copy it from our SCCM server local drive, so we need to go to this path: program files, Microsoft Configuration Manager, tools. So inside tools, config mgr at ADM templates. Okay, let's try to discover that first. So if I'm on server 2, and well, while I'm here, I was just trying to check if I refresh this. It is still showing yes, while the client is not there, right? Is it not there? So control panel. I'm on Windows 7. Just double checking if the client was not automatically installed or deployed from SCCM server, and on Windows 8, yep, it is deployed again. Okay, and Software Center is here, and Configuration Manager is here. Good. Windows 8, the manual push is good. For Windows 7, now we're just doing the group policy push. Okay, so on server local drive C, I'm going to programs and files, and there's the Microsoft Configuration Manager, and then not here, admin console, tools, if there's tools here. Nope. So I'm just gonna go back here and see the path. So it was program files, not x86.1. Program files, configuration manager, and tools, and ADM templates. Okay, and we have two templates here. I'm just gonna grab that, copy, and paste it to server 1 C drive. I hope it takes it to the downloads folder. Paste. Yep, it takes it. So what I did is went to server 2, went to this path, Um, C program files, Microsoft Configuration Manager, tools, config, mgr ADM templates or administrative template, and then copy these two to the C drive anywhere, well, closest download. So, okay, once this is copied, uh, let me know if you don't understand anything or if you want to repeat, if you want me to repeat something, right? Okay, so um, in the computer configuration, so before going there, one more thing to check. We copied this, right? So we copied this area. We went and now expand administrative templates, classic administrative templates, configuration manager. Yeah, once we add those templates, this is the next step that we want to see is that okay. So it's what I wanted to show is it's computer configuration where we need to add, remove, or just add templates, right? So if we go there, server 2, so I'm on the server 1 or the domain controller where the group policy management is already open, group policy management editor. So just grab it, go for policies, go for administrative templates, and right click the template and go to add, remove templates here, and then go to add, and in the downloads we paste those configuration manager templates. So does it take both? Yep, it does. So press tab and select both, or press shift button and click open. These are the templates. Just click close here. Okay, so when we expand the administrative templates, you can see that the classic administrative templates are there, which means that this is, so you add a template for any other software under the administrative templates, they always show up inside the classic administrative templates. Okay, expand the classic administrative template, and now we see some of the huge amount of just 2 policies there for configuration manager, and they're not configured. Obviously we're going to configure now. One of the policies actually disabled because the arrow showing down, pointing down. So first policy is configure configuration manager 2012 site assignment. Second is client deployment settings. So if you go to site assignment, double click that. So guys, what we're about to do, okay, there's a comment here to copy paste the path. So I'm just going to, that's a good idea actually. So I'm just gonna paste the path inside the chat, and this is the path on server 2 in the SCCM manager. So I've just pasted the path there and showing the chat now. The path is right. Okay, so once this is copied there, okay, the path was there. So we were working on the group policy management, configuration manager site assignment, which is the first policy. Guys, what is the effect of that? I mean, we are going ahead with that. So what does it do? Yeah, it does not say that here. Yeah, so what it does is that if you are deploying through this, it's going to actually do this for every new client that is part of or that is added to this OU of management. In our case, it is a management. If you put this policy on the domain level, of course, it's going to forcefully assign the SCCM client to all the machines under the domain, including the domain controllers and member servers, And so that's why we attached this or linked this policy to a specific OU. So whichever machine you want to have the client installed, just add that machine to this OU, and as soon as it's in this OU and it restarts or logs off and logs in, actually it's restarts because it's a computer policy, so it has to be in, start up and shut down. So when it restarts, it will get this policy. If it was on the user, then the user has to be log on, log off, right? What it does is it also automatically installs this policy to whichever computer is part of that OU. So either you choose site-wide automatic client push from SCCM server, from within SCCM server, for automatically whichever machine is discovered, it's going to push that client, or you select this other option, group policy, right? So there are many comments from SCCM admins across the internet and different SCCM boards, and they say that they're stuck. Sometimes they're stuck with the SCCM site-wide installation. I mean, it's enabled, but it's not pushing successfully the clients. So then they actually disable that, and then they go for group policy, and that successfully installed all the clients, SCCM clients to the Windows machines. So we should know just both ways how to do that, right? Okay, so what we need to do, so this is where we were, and we're just going to mention our site code. So I'm just going to go back now to that group policy management here on server 1, and we're just going to enable that, and assigned site is, our site code is Tor, right? It's a 3-letter word for the site, and that we also assign the client as well. And site assignment retry interval. So this policy configures site assignment for the site assignment retry interval specifies how frequently the client attempts to assign to the site. The site assignment retry specifies how long the client attempts to assign to the site before failing. So the SCCM client on the Windows machine. Okay, there is a comment here. Sorry, could you repeat how you imported the GPO? Group policy object. Okay, imported. Okay, so it is here in server 02, and I've given the path here on the chat. If you go to program files, and so it's in C drive, and program file is not the program files x86 program files, and then to configuration manager, and then to tools, and then config mgr ADM templates, and these are the two files. And then I copied that and took it to server 1, and in server 1 I just need to find a place to paste them. So I just went for Windows Explorer, and in the downloads I just right click and click the paste. Once it is there, then I went to this computer configuration, policies, and administrative templates. Here in the computer configuration, under then policies, then administrative templates, I right clicked here. So when you right click, add remove templates are there, and once add remove templates are there, you go for click add. And because we paste the policy in the downloads folder in domain controller, so both those policies, select both of them by pressing shift and click open, and they are here. Oops, so I don't want to replace, well, although they're the same, and then you just click close there, right? So that's how they get added, imported. And once they are imported, then expand the administrative templates and go to classic, and then configuration manager, and configuration manager 2012 is there, right? So this is how we import it. So is it clear, Shao? So okay. So configure configuration manager 2012 site assignment. Double click that, go for enabled. So I'm just going for the first policy now, and go for enabled, and then just put the Tor there. And about the site assignment client, this is our SCCM client on Windows machines will try to assign the site to itself, or try to become the member of this, or keep, or if somehow it loses connectivity, it's going to try to assign itself to the Tor site as again, that hey, I'm part of this Toronto branch Tor site, and I'm gonna keep trying it for site assignment retry duration. I'm gonna keep retrying it for 12 hours, that I'm here and somehow I'm not able to communicate with SCCM server, and I'm trying again and again. So, um, well, I tried my best, and if I cannot, then Mr. Administrator, come down here and fix me. So, that's the whole story for that, right? So, apply, okay, it's enabled. Hmm. And then we're gonna just go for double clicking the second one. Now the second one, we have to give a path here. So enabled and CCM setup. So this means that enabling this policy supersedes the client deployment properties configured in the configuration manager console under client push installation. So it says clearly here, if you configure here, then it supersedes, or it makes the configuration of the SCCM console client push site-wide client push policy push installation. It's going to just make it ineffective, right? So this is an alternate to that SCCM server site-wide client push. We already unchecked it, so just to check this option, just to check out this option, but we're not going to stick to this one. We're going to stick to that one later. So we're going to disable these policies later, right? So but right now we need to make it happen, so we need to make it successful. So I'm just going to go back to the slide and show you one more thing. What do we need to put inside that policy, right? So here is the code that we need to put. So right click, configure, configure configuration manager 2012 client deployment settings, and click, yeah, we did that, right? You can specify lots of installation properties for installation of configuration manager client. Click the button below for knowing more on, there's a button there. In our case, I have used following installation command. So guys, what is this? When you deploy through SCCM, through group policy, SCCM client, so it needs to know what is the site it is part of, what is the site this Windows machine is part of, so it is Tor. What is the failback point for fail-safe point for that SCCM server. So this is the point. We already discovered that. We already talked about that. If the client, SCCM client, cannot communicate with SCCM server, it's going to go and try to connect to another management point assigned by that server. In our case, we have the same server, only one server. In large environments, of course, in production environments, there always are. Well, if there are two servers, it's better. But the thing is that if the client is not communicating with first SCCM server, if there's a second SCCM server, the client tries to tell the second server that, hey, I'm trying to communicate. Maybe you, on the second server, you just deployed just the management point role of the SCCM, and so if the first server management point role is not communicating with the client, if there's a server 3 maybe with just installed with the SCCM management point and maybe distribution point, so the client will tell the second one, hey, if you have communication with the first server, can you tell that server that I'm not able to communicate with the management point there. So the failsafe point, it's just for that if we have two servers. So, but we are just trying to put it in the code that whenever the client, we are deploying the client from group policy, this information should be there, right? So management point is also there, server1.sccm domain.local, and FSP is equals also server1.sccm domain.local. I've put it FQDN. Do not just copy that fully, but I'm just going to try to copy that inside the machine. Then I'm gonna fix it. I'm gonna put the actual path or actual wordings there. So I'm just gonna go inside the machine and on the server one, and I'm gonna look for a notepad there. And the code is there. I'm just putting the code here as well in the chat. So where it's FQDN written, just put the FQDN, not the word FQDN, but the SCCM domain.local FQDN. So where am I putting that? Here. In the second policy which I enabled, this CCM setup, and here we need to put the whole thing here. But let me just change it first. So site code is TOR, the 3-letter code. Then our domain name is SCCM domain.local. So I'm just gonna remove FQDN now. Oops. And I think there's one space on. Oh, there is one space. So, and same thing there. Okay. So Control A, Control C. Well, the finished code. I'll just save your typing. So I'll just put it in the chat again. The full code here. So minimize that and put it here. So whenever the client, SCCM client, is deployed through this group policy, this information will go with it, right? So this information just says that, hey, your site is Tor and your management point is server1.sccm domain.local. So when you reach that Windows machine, just remember that you're part of the Tor network. Okay, so apply. Okay. So once this is done, now we are ready for the deployment of that client, SCCM client, to that Windows 7 machine. But how do we do that? We need to have SCCM CCM setup slash or .msi, right? Not .exe but .msi, because any MSI can be deployed through group policy. So I'm just gonna go and grab that. Let's just check the slide as well. So there's that code that we put. Now there is that. Oh, we already demonstrated that. So okay, there is that CCM setup .msi I need to grab. So we're just going to go to server 2 and go inside the program file tools there, program files. So I'm on server 2 now, and inside server 2 I'm in the C drive, which server 2 is a SCCM server, C drive, program files, Microsoft configuration manager, right? And why I'm here, I am looking for CCM setup .msi, so I can deploy it through group policy, right? So if I go to the client and folder, so I'm locally just trying to access this client folder, and when I double click it, it's just thinking and thinking, and it's gonna load the whole thing maybe tonight after 2 a.m. maybe. Come on. Ugh. Okay, anyway, I screamed at it and it doesn't listen to me. How rude. So I can just go to Windows 8 and I have that share open there as well, and under x64. Okay, go to x64, and there's yeah, this one. So client.msi, right? So .msi, client.msi. Okay, so got the location. If I go back to server 02, it has stopped discovering and loading that window. So if I just type here again .msi on the search, inside this folder, it's going to look for any file that is MSI. It lined those files up, and the client.msi is there. We're gonna go for, there is a 32-bit and there's a 64-bit. We're just gonna go for 64-bit. So x64 here, and this is the file we need. Obviously, we can just copy this from within server 1 as well. So if I go back to my domain controller where I need to, okay, this is the path for, I'm putting this there as well. This is the path for the MSI file. MSI file called client. I put it in the chat, the path for MSI file, and this is the file called client. Okay, so if I just copy here and paste, I think it should have paste. Otherwise, we can just go over the network, or let me just go there over the network. So run // server 02. If I just enter that, all the shared folders are there. In this SMS store, go to client folder. If we want to access the same file over the network, this is the path, x64. So this path, if you want to access from there, I'm just pushing that, I'm pasting that as well in the chat. So server 2 SMS store, client x64. Wow, it rhymes. Okay, anyway, so client, just, so guys, one more thing. Whenever we are deploying software from group policy, we have to have a shared folder, right? So we're going to just create a shared folder on server 1. So I'm just gonna go inside server 1 or domain controller in the C drive and create a new folder called shared soft. Maybe I'm gonna use it for other future deployments as well, but anyway, on the domain controller, shared soft, and paste this file called client.msi, right? But I created a folder called shared soft. I didn't share it, so let me just share that too. Right click, share with, right click the shared soft, share with specific people, just drop down everyone, click add. It's gonna not going to write anything here, so read permission is okay for everyone on this shared folder. So if I go up there to the task list and see what we have done and what we are about to do, SCCM client deployment from GPO, yes, we are doing that. Create a new user, we did that. NOU called management, we did that. Through GPO, deploy SCCM client only to Win7. Yes, we're going to do that. Assign the policy and it should deploy. So also I'm just gonna add here, so I'm just gonna add here that create folder in server 01 called shared soft, and well, share it, and put the client.msi file from server 02 to this folder. Okay, it's done actually. So this is another major step that I should have added before. So and then through GPO, deploy SCCM client only to Win7. Assign the policy and it should deploy when user logs in. Log in from the new user called SCCM user 01. Okay, we're gonna be doing that, but this is what I needed to add further. So I'm just gonna go back to server 01 where it's ready. So client.msi is there in a shared soft folder, and shared soft folder is also shared. Minimize that, and yeah, over the network we copied this file from here. Close this. Okay. Computer configuration. We have the editor open for that policy called SCCM 2012 R2 client push, and we just added two templates, administrative templates, and configured them. Now we're just going to deploy this client.msi SCCM client software to Windows 7 only, right? And because this OU group policy is just linked to the management OU, we know that when it is configured, it's going to just deploy to Windows 7. So software installation, I'm just gonna go there. So under software settings, so policies, software settings, under configuration, policies, software settings, software installation, and first I need to tell this that where is that client file located, right? So right click and properties. So once here, let's just click browse. It's going to try to see the shared folder. Browse for what? So I'm just gonna backslash server 01. I want to see the shared folder of this server 1, right? Oops, what is properties? Browse. There's server 01 anyway, and there's that shared soft folder. All it needs is the path, network share path for that client.msi file. So press OK and apply OK, right? So we gave the path to the software installation where the file is. Now we're going to tell the software installation whether to forcefully deploy it or assign it, which is an optional deployment. So new package, and there you go. Since the shared folder path was there, so it just directly opened that, and just select this file client because it is MSI, and of course we're going to be assigning it, right? So press OK. It's going to show up here, and since it's just connected to the management OU, and the management OU only has Windows 7 machine inside, so hope for the best. So right click, refresh. Yep, there it is. But there's one more further step here. We need it to be forced install, this SCCM client to be forced install to Windows 7 machine when the machine restarts. So right click, properties of this package, and deployment, auto install this application by file extension activation, uninstall this application, installation user will install this application at logon. So this is disabled already. For machine installation, I think this is it. For user installation, this option we have to select, but for machine installation, this if I go to advanced, ignore language, now that's it. So for machine, we don't need to do that. So yes, nothing to do here for now, right? Press OK. So what we're doing here is we're gonna just check now if it is deployed, but before that, you know what to do. Just run GPO updates are force on the domain controller. So I'm just gonna close this editor now. Okay, close this editor. The group policy management console is still open. Right click the domain here and refresh. And then in the command prompt on the domain controller, since I want the results now, I will put here gp update /force. Okay, so once it is done, I'm just gonna go back to the client and restart, but let's just check the task manager if it is started already. Nope. So let's just restart this. So in the command prompt, if we can just put there shutdown /r/t space 0. So slash r restart slash t, what is the time? 0 seconds. So right now, press enter, and it restarts now. Okay, so when it restarts and we log in with that simple user, let's see, user has no rights, but I don't think it makes any changes to the, well, let's see, because if the user doesn't have the installation rights and we're trying to push it, and the first user and the first account that logs in is that user 01, so it's restarted and it's SCCM user 01, which we created in Active Directory, the password, enter. Does that message come where it is just, you know, forcefully deploying that or assigning that policy? Well, it's the first time the user is logging in, and well, the message is not show, but if we go to task manager and processes, CCM setup did not start as well. So not gonna wait for it, just log off, log in from, in fact it's a startup and shut down, so I'm making sure that one more thing, firewall is not open. So in the firewall, all close. So logging, instead of log off, I'm just going to restart again because it restarts quickly. And now I'm just going to log in from SCCM admin and try to do that from there. Just wanted to check if there's some error pops up or anything, but nothing happened, which means it could be any other thing as well, some troubleshooting required. So let's just check with SCCM admin. So you could be doing this for like you know, hundreds of clients. So we would be making sure that in the background it's logging in from you know, the account that has privileges to deploy anything, to install over the machine. So SCCM admin, let's see if it starts deploying anything. And is this the client machine? So if I open the command prompt hostname SCCM win7-pc, if I go back to my domain controller and just quickly check SCCM win7-pc, yep, that's it. So fresh, and GPO update force was already done there, but anyway, GP update /force, and the policies under the management. All authenticated users. Okay, so if I go to task manager, nothing. So assigned kind of is not working. So if I go to editor again for the client push for management and go for policies, go for software settings, and refresh client.msi and properties, URL, deployment. There's nothing extra we need to do, right? Upgrades, packages, that this package will upgrade categories, nothing. Yep, we have all the rights here. So anyway, this is a procedure for that, but if it takes a little longer time, then of course we may need to just restart, or GPO update force here as well on the client side. Update slash force. So GPU update slash force had been run here, so I could just try to restart the machine one more time, and maybe at that time the policy just whoa, that's a lot of noise. Okay, just one more time, then we just go ahead and with the next topic. So just restarting one last time. It's the third restart now, and it is Windows 7. While it is restarting Windows 8, when we're checking there, yes, the whole thing is properly deployed. For group policy, I'm just gonna test this, and then I'm just going to actually, uh, you know, disable this policy or remove this policy. I don't want the clients to be getting from the group policy. I want the site-wide uh, SCCM configuration automatic from within SCCM server. So I'm just gonna later put it back. So logging in now, and so just leaving it there, and let these guys talk to each other. And yeah, when it restarts, one more thing, I need to double check if the firewall was turned on. Sometimes it does. It just turns on the firewall if that's the case. But everything is okay so far. And I'm gonna check the firewall again for for Windows for server 2. Sometimes, surprisingly, I've seen that when you come back from restart, or if you initially started the machine, it just starts. But anyway, yes, on both sides, it seems like everything is okay. It should be communicating, so I'll just give it time, and yeah, GP update slash force, and I'll just leave it like that. So if there's a policy, it should grab there. If there's a communication between these two, while it is there, let's just go to the next topic now, where we're gonna check back here later as well, and I'm just gonna give it a little time. After that, I'm just gonna disable this before the at the end of the class. The group policy way of installing, I'm gonna disable that. I'm gonna again enable the site-wide client push from within the SCCM server, right? Okay, let's for the next topic. We need to also try to, so yeah, this manual SCCM client, we just already did that. Application catalog point is what we already deployed in the last class, but application catalog point is used for end users to go on the website and install the application that are published for them. These are all the steps that we already did. We deployed these two site system roles, the application catalog web service point and application catalog website point, and then we just went ahead and tried to deploy it. Then there is that client side policy. So we configured that as well. We went to the setup. We already configured that. And we selected the URL as well in the last class, and all those areas should be configured. And then user policy retrieval and evaluation cycle, that has to be clicked, so it could trigger a communication between that client Windows machine and the SCCM server. And then I showed you this option in the software center, that if we go to the right side, there's a find additional applications from the application catalog, and it's supposed to show like that, but we're going to configure it because there's a bug and it's not showing. And later we're going to be installing applications, so those applications should be showing like this. I just wanted to have an overview of that, and convert client to use the app catalog So there will be, when we deploy application, there will be this app catalog. So we're going to be deploying either WinZip or 7-zip, and scores of other applications as well. And we can request also, we can let the user request a application deployment as well once this page is up and running. Okay, this is what. Oh, hello. Everyone is everyone is able to hear my sound. Are you able to hear me? Can you please? Are you listening to me? Okay, you're able to hear me, right? Oh, okay. Everyone is able to hear. So Chandra, maybe it's on your side. Oh, no sound. He's saying no side. So all others are okay. So Chandra, please try your audio. Okay, so then there's a next topic. Okay, before that topic, sorry, there was a smaller topic that I did not mention here, which is the collection. We did talk about the collection, and then we're going to come to boot images and distribution point conversion, which is very important to configure before we start deploying Windows 7, Windows 8 to bare metal machines. So before that, what was this that collection that we did not configure or did not try? So if I go back to my server, SCCM server, and open that SCCM client, um, while I'm here, view messages in Action Center. What are the messages here? While I'm here, I was just tempted to just go there and check the policy, but I don't think it reached there, the client. Anyone who's trying with me the group policy deployment of SCCM client on Windows 7 or Windows 8 machine? Anyone having success? Yes? No? Maybe? Okay, there's a no. And there's a nope as well. And okay, so we're all in the same boat. Okay, well, it's a pretty clear, straightforward process, but till now, nothing. Well, okay, let's get back to the system server. While again going back there, since I'm so tempted now, I'll just push GPO update force again there, and one more thing. Through SCCM client, no, I should not enable it there. Through on Windows 8, I could just try that shared folder as well. So if I go to server 1 from Windows 8 client, not Windows 7, right, and I go to shared soft and try to double click this client, press yes. So sometimes we need to check the client as well, right? So I'm manually checking this client. This is the path I gave to that group policy to deploy this client.msi. But I'm on Windows 8, which already has this, and I'm just double checking, hey, whether it's even working or not. Okay, there is that question, which could be very interesting actually. We are deploying 64-bit client. Maybe Windows 7 we have is not 64-bit. So strange. So if we go to accessories, all programs, accessories, system tools, and then system information. Hey, what do you know? It's not 64-bit. Michael, you just won this session. Okay. Okay. If we go back to group policy and let's just not deploy 64-bit. So I'm just gonna go back here and access the server 2 shared folders again. Go to SMS store, go to client, go to i386, and let's just copy this i386 client as well to the local shared folder. I hope you understand what I'm doing now. Just accessing the other one, right? So if I put the folder called I386, enter, paste, and now I need to tell group policy again, hey, I don't want this to be deployed, I want the other to be deployed. So um, first of all, I'm going to remove this, immediately uninstall the software from users, allow users to continue to use this software. Immediately uninstall or remove. And then telling the software installation that where is that folder again, properties, shared soft, it's no longer in shared, I mean, there's a subfolder there, it is in shared soft, right? If I browse to that location through browse, go to shared soft, go to i386 and press OK. Now I'm giving the second path here, and where I put the 32-bit of the client.msi SCCM client file, apply, OK, and then again new package, and I think it opens directly there, the subfolder, and double click, assign, refresh. Okay, one day or Monday, it's gonna be there. Okay, it's there. The only difference is now it's a 32-bit client and GPO updates are force on the domain controller. And if we go back here to the Windows 7 client, and well, it is assigned and I need to restart, but GPO updates are force sometimes also works, sometimes. So updating the policy there. If it doesn't work, I'm just gonna have to restart again. Okay, what is that? The following warnings were encountered. Computer policy processing site extensions are able to apply because changes must be processed before system startup. Okay, so yes, okay to restart. Yeah, whatever. It's just saying, hey, please, less than a minute? I can't wait that long. It's just saying that restart this. This is a computer policy, so restart it. So shutdown /r/t0 now, restart now, don't wait for 1 minute. Okay, so if it works, there are lots of Timbits and donuts and coffee for Michael. I'm gonna send you the pictures, but thank you. Oh, hey, we're online, come on. So anyway, that's a good point, Michael. So I hope it works. And definitely it's not 64-bit, so it's back there, Windows 7. And hey, in this day and age, we are working with 32-bit? God, what's wrong with us? I'm just kidding. Okay. So, well, here goes everything, as they say. So I hope it is this exact thing that it's deploying. So right click, start manager, and let's give it some time, and also put that GPO updates.force as well. Anyone else tried that as well with me, or /force? Oops, what I did. force. So if anyone else tried with me, you could just share the results with me as well, or maybe you're also on the wait as I'm doing. So I'm just gonna do this GPO-force again. Oh, seriously. So it's saying user policy update has completed, computer policy update has completed successfully. Okay. Well, yeah, this message came before as well, that it's going to wait for the implementation of it after the startup, after the restart. So we did the restart and we tried to do that. Not able to run the client, gives error, have to run from CCM setup. So Shaw, you're saying that you're not able to run the client, But is that a message saying that you should run from system setup, or is it your suggestion? The message is saying that. Oh, okay. Um, so one more thing here. When I try to start this client, okay, one thing. There's already a client here, so at least there was no error when I just manually tried to do that. Second thing is that I'm just giving a little more time. Then we're gonna try to just start that MSI manually from the shared folder, just to check what went wrong. Maybe the group policy never did apply successfully while the client was okay, or maybe the client.msi itself is not okay. So let's just give it a little more time and go back to the collection and try to understand that as well. And then we're gonna come back and we're gonna just access the share and just run that client.msi here again. So here I'm just gonna excuse me. Okay, so just going back to SCCM server, there is that under the assets and compliance, we have device collections and user collections. It's pretty simple concept that you have a collection of computers that show, and what's the benefit of collection? If you right click any of the collection, you can actually, this is the unknown and default collection, but if I right click the collection, create device collection here, right click, what it does is that you can add a lot of computers inside, or specific amount of computers inside through collection, and then you can also put some queries there. So if I just go for create device collection, and just name it, okay, one collection is all Windows 7 machines, 7 machines, and limiting collection, we have to fill that where are all those Windows machines in the default collections that SCCM has created. Collection just means a collection of whatever, users or computers, right? So I'm just saying that, okay, the Windows 7 machines that I'm looking for, they're all in SCCM system. So there are two types you can see here: all unknown computers and all systems. So all systems are what was properly discovered by SCCM and is part of the domain, or what is properly discovered, and all unknown system is that which is not properly discovered or not part of the domain as well, right? So all systems, yes, the Windows 7 machine which I have are all already in the default collection created by SCCM, where whatever is discovered automatically goes there, right? So, but you can see that there's member count 2 here for all desktop and server clients, and then there is all systems should be including all the computers discovered. I don't know why it's showing 6, but yeah, it's showing 6 because all unknown computers is also showing there. But we're going to be later discovering what is unknown computer, because there will be bare metal deployment, and we're going to be talking about that too. So I'm creating a collection here for suppose all Windows 7 machines, and next. So then it says that, hey, maybe it's a, okay, so suppose the scenario is that you have a 10,000 machine network, and there are, if there are 10,000, maybe 2,000 or 5,000 machines are Windows 7, and all the Windows 7 you need to really select and search. So there are these rules or query rules. We're going to be going in detail later as well, but I'm just quickly showing what's inside the collections. So direct rule is there. If I go to direct rule, next is system resource. Yes, it's a computer. Attribute name, yes, we can just go by name, and then go put here percentage. I'm gonna the next screen will tell you why we did that and what does it mean, right? Next, now it's selected or showing, it is showing all the machines that it discovered. We just go for Win 7 only, because that's only Win 7 we have. Next and next. So once we add this, so it is added there in the collection when we started this add rule. That wizard has finished, and it found a machine here which was just directly adding it. Next and next. So it's we just created a collection called all Win7 machines, and member count is still 0. So if I right click and refresh, now member count is 1. This is crucial that we're going to be doing that a lot in next labs. So it's one machine has been found, but show, if we right click and show members, but other than that we can install client, manually install the client just like we were able to manually install on single machines. And then there are many other features that a collection offers: simulate deployment, move, deploy again, but deploy what? Software updates. We can deploy Windows updates, we can deploy any application, any program, configuration baseline, whatever we can do to a single machine, we can do a collection as well. But the benefit is that it's a collection, right? So, and endpoint protection, of course, antivirus and anti-malware protection is there. Client notification, download computer policy. So lots of options are there when we add those clients to specific collections. And if we go for show members here, then it's going to go inside and show the members. So the members are showing here, and this is, we're inside now Win7 machines, and we can just go back up to the devices. But we're going to go further because there are some queries that we need to test as well. How do we really do the search for specific types of machines? Like you are creating a collection of only those Windows 7 which have i7 processor and which have 16 gigs of RAM, and you're just collecting those machines because the software afterwards you're going to be deploying requires that the machine should have Windows i7 processor and minimum 16 GB. So before deploying any big software like that, having that kind of criteria or prereqs, so you need to really do smart search, and you need to run queries with scripts to collect, to really know about those machines, right? Maybe in thousands of machines you really need to search for specific criteria machines. So that's why this was just a brief introduction. Oh, this is a collection, okay. But no, we're gonna go further and try to know how to search machine, what are the other queries we can put there. So we're gonna visit back here. But anyway, this was there with the devices, and so I said we were thinking that we should be knowing that. In SSN compliance, we have these two machines, and if I go back to this, okay, nothing happened. And if I go to control panel, nothing. So, well, this is good enough time to check actually. Okay, so rsop dot msc resultant set of policies, right? So in computer policy, it is saying that there's a problem, right? Yes, you're right, and that's a very good point that it did not. There is that yellow sign here, and maybe that client software itself may not be. So yeah, this is very good option that you gave, Shauchan. But one more thing I need to check is if I directly can deploy that manually. Yeah, CCM setup. CCM setup.exe will successfully deploy and will do that task which we are doing. But let me just first one client. So I'm just gonna go for what am I doing here? Server 02. Actually server 01 because we copied it as well, and it's we already know that. Shared software. 936 double click client. This is just before the test run, we need to do that. Okay, yeah, it should be giving an error of some type if there was a problem. And if I'm running this, and so CCM setup still doesn't show up, right? And one more thing is that if we check that, mm, okay, so there's that pop up. Okay, it required user access control. It maybe didn't go by that. Press yes. Oh, that's what you were saying, right? Ha! Xiaochan, you got us. So setup was not launched from ccm setup.exe. Please run ccm setup.exe to install config manager client. Yeah, this is what it will discover if it cannot deploy that. The mistake I did was that I needed to have that supporting files with them too, I guess. So okay, this is thank you and good point. And yeah, you could also show the screenshot. But anyway, you pointed us to the right error, and let me just clarify one more thing here. And thank you for showing that. Really, otherwise, yeah, that's where the troubleshooting starts. And since we are all trying that, so this will be good that somebody's coming up with something. So i386 has some supporting files as a desperate attempt. Although I will just grab that. uh, hey, so I tried from there and it gave an error, right? So it's just a shared folder. So why not I just go for that folder which from which I was gonna just copy the whole thing. So server 2, SMS Tor, client, f86. Does it need a supporting file? We'll just know now, right? Because CCM setup is also here to be referenced, but if it's just going there and it's going giving this error, maybe the supporting files are also not there that it needs. And the next thing is this. Let me just show one more. Okay, now what? Bang. So exactly, your this is really getting. So troubleshooting has started so early, while this was seemed to be a very um, easy thing to do. Okay, so yes, CCM setup. Yes, you're right. Let me just grab my screenshots where I was quickly doing it, like really quickly doing that. And the client.msi is supposed to be having the CCM setup, which is just as theory that we're applying that. But it should be, so let's just try the exe one as well. Uh-huh. So the thing is that we're going to let's have it as an assignment. Yes. So the client was the client.msi, right? So MSI files can be deployed easily by the GPO, right? While .exe files have to be converted to MSI and then deployed there, right? What I'm trying to get from my slide is that where more from my, you know, okay, I'm just gonna get that now because we need to really um, policy. So I just wanted to, guys, if you're there, you can also try to see what's the problem there. You could try to. I just wanted to record it in this. Otherwise, let's just go for the next Give me a second, guys. I need to get it right. Why the MSI did not work? What does DECnet says? So if it takes one more than 2-3 minutes, let's just go for the next one, and I'm gonna. It is supposed to use. So what happened? Any format is different? Yeah. So it's going to just deploy that easily. MSI is detectable from GPO, right? Just like in the okay, resuming SCCM 2012. You have to go to this path, program files, Microsoft Configuration Manager, bin i386, and the file is ccm setup.msi, not the client.msi. So if I copy this ccm setup.msi, and the path is in the chat now, and I quickly just do the whole drill again over the shared folder. It's read only. Seriously, should have put it on read and write. So I'm just gonna put this file in the same path now. This PC shared i386, paste, ccm setup is there again, and now I'm gonna go much faster, and again, sorry about that. Going to go to the editor. Oh, editor is already, I think, open. Going to editor, and well, editor has the same path, i386 folder. I just need to remove that file, so I'm just removing this push as well, and because it's the wrong file, so I'm just going for the new package in the same folder. Now ccm setup, which I gave you the path already, is there assigned, and now deploying that. Okay, that okay, there it is. And again, GPO update / force. I just wanted to give a full day or a separate class, or the day after tomorrow, to do the full Windows 7 deployment and push Windows 8 on a bare metal. So we're going to talk totally about that time, but I'm still going to start today some basic information for that. Okay, so again, the file was wrong, and the path was wrong, so I'm just correcting it now. And again, this has been deployed there, implemented there, and going for GPU set force, which is going to ask us to restart. But even before that, we may not have to restart. Maybe the CCM setup just pops up there, because but it's a computer policy, so it would, certain computer policies are enabled that can only run during startup. So instead of just going for that time, if I press yes here, it's gonna wait for 10 minutes, 1 minute, sorry. So press no here and just go for shutdown /r/t0. Just wanted to see that policy quickly. Okay, maybe many of you are doing that with me, so we can share the results while it is still coming back. Let's just I want to talk about some other stuff as well. Boot images and distribution point configuration for OSD in SCCM 2012. So for that, I'm gonna just take you to places. Let's just log in. All the focus is still on, hey, why didn't just it showed that again? So it was ccm setup.msi, but and right click, just leave it there, and group policy. Seriously, it should deploy now, and if not, then let's just throw my computer to the from the window, and I'll just catch it with, I'll be there before it reaches the ground. So seriously, okay, the file was there, and well, we spent too much time there for troubleshooting. Um, yes, the whole thing is okay. Well, okay. Oh, you know what? Just to see this quickly now. So you have 64 bit version of in the chat. There is a comment. Can't find the CCM setup file under 64. Hmm? The CCM setup exe. So if we go to server 2, and I am inside bin i36. If we go to 64 bit CCM setup, yeah, 32 works for 64. Okay, yeah. So okay, if it's not there, definitely just go for the first file. Yeah, it's not there. So under the bin i36, yep. If you're so it's I think it's the group policy not reaching there, because now I'm just going to try that file as well through network share, and shared soft i36 CCM setup. Um, so I'm just enabling this file now, and in the task manager it's not still showing that CCM setup, so it hasn't reached to execute that CCM setup yet. And I hope it doesn't stop anywhere, this client file. Oh, successful. Okay. Client setup bootstrap. Oh, okay. And so it did not still initialize the installation, but control. So you know what? There's another way to know what's going on the client side. If we go to computer, go to C drive, go to Windows, there's a CCM folder there. There's a CCM setup folder there. If you go to CCM setup folder, there's a logs file there as well, and there's that log file that's going to tell us that if we go to date modified for the log file, 945, that's the latest changes that were done. CCM setup, but this is with the date. This is client.msi. So if we go way down here for the file, CCM setup is exiting with return code. CCM setup. Okay, CCM setup component. If I go to control F and go for fail, or fail, just okay. So system registration rolled back in the event of a failed installation. This action rolls. No, not that. If install. Oh, this is just an if. Okay, no fail. Client.msi. Okay, machine policy. This should tell us something. And recommending counter the shutdown will be denied. Counter to the decrementing. No system restore. Okay, anyway. Guys, so this will be something we need to do when we are doing it ourselves as well. While we're doing it ourselves right now as well, we need to troubleshoot that, right? It should have been working fine. So let's just Google it as well. I would do that right away and try to find out what didn't work here. Was it the wrong file again, or I'm just trying to look at the logs as well right now. Rolls back the changes made by nothing, nothing here. So this is the log area for Windows CCM setup logs. There are other folders as well, but I just ran the file directly as well, and it did finish, but did not launch the CCM setup or did not install the configuration manager client. So, or cancel out from here. Let's just double check that. If I go to control panel now, oops, if I go to control panel now, system and security, hey, now which installation did it, we don't know, but the client is here. No, it's the only successful installation was this, which we just did. There was no indication. I need to retest it at least, but installation is the client is successfully there. This control panel, I don't work correctly. Yeah, open the control using the command setting. Yes. So guys, the client is there, but yeah, I need to see the indication yet that it's just doing that without CCM setup showing, but it TechNet says it should be showing CCM setup.exe. So I would just uninstall that and reinstall that again and check that that what really went on, what we did get the client up here where it is now. So uninstalling that again and then install it back through CCM setup 32-bit version .msi, and then trying to do that. So please try to do that and update everyone as well that what is it, did it work or not. But we need to pinpoint which of our tries install that. If I hadn't tried that, you know, directly from the MSI shared folder, I should have still gone to the control panel and at least double checked it that was it the result of my direct installation, or in the background silently it just did it, right? Because it's from group policy and we did put some code there. So you know there are 10 minutes remaining, so why don't I just uninstall it now and check it again? Seriously, why do I always go there by habit? Okay, computer, in fact, just uninstall that again. We know that now where to go. So cd backslash cd windows cd ccm setup, enter ccm setup.exe slash uninstall. Yes, and it should uninstall now. Now during the uninstall it does show that, but during the installation now, site-wide installation is not working, and this policy is linked only to Windows 7, so it must just work on Windows 7. I'm just uninstalling now and making sure that in control panel it is not there. I just wanted to pinpoint what did it. Control panel, system and security, still there. But when it is uninstalling, you could see that, you know, these tabs go less and less. There were 2 rows of tabs, right? It's uninstalling, so components would be less, actions would be, there's nothing in action now. So it's at least uninstallation is successfully going on right now, and nothing inside general as well. So if we control panel and go back, it's still showing, but I think everything should be closed. So it's once we have successfully uninstalled, I'm F5ing it. So okay, CCM setup is still going on actually here. Once it vanishes from here in task manager, then we know that it's going to uninstall. I mean, it is uninstalled successfully, right? So once it is done, then I'm just gonna, you know, that group policy is still there. I'm just gonna restart, and I'm just gonna not going to wait for this CCM setup, but if it that policy is working, this restart should just initiate that. I'm gonna keep the video running and give it some time, and then just simply check the control panel if it is back. So this means that the it was installed with complete silence in the background, not showing even anything in the task manager. Just going back to the control panel again, going to system and security, it still shows when we click open the configuration manager, nothing, no action, no nothing. General is also gone. CSIM setup is still working, so it's still in the process of uninstallation. Anyway, while this is uninstalling, so there's some, with group policy, we had to see some troubleshooting, and also, the wrong file, right file thing. Before leaving, I'll just leave it to this, so it should at least get it working or finish it. So what I'm trying to go for next is boot images and distribution point configuration for OSD. This is boot images in SCCM. If I go to SCCM right now, I'm just talking about that, but in the day after tomorrow, we're going to be actually trying to deploy Windows 7 or Windows 8 image to a bare metal machine, and that's going to require a lot of steps. So have your machines up and ready, well, they're ready anyway. So the boot images in the software library, if I go to operating systems here, there's that boot images area. Excuse me. So this is the area excuse me, where boot image, if we are trying to deploy a Windows 64-bit, then some of the information, so Windows 64-bit system installer or the files need to be present here, and a full image of the file needs to be present here. We're gonna be doing it in very detail. Then I'm gonna explain you what's with those, what do you mean by system images and what do you mean by system installer files. And boot images is just for if you click a boot image and you see this gray circle here, this means that before deploying the Windows 7 64-bit edition, this boot image has to be uploaded to a distribution point. So update distribution points. So after we introduce Windows 7 files inside the SCCM server, we have to tell the distribution point that, hey, Mr. Distribution Point, there is Windows 7 installation files available here. So, and the boot image has information about those files now because they have to be added. So please update yourself or distribution point that we are about to deploy Windows 7 64-bit through the distribution point to a bare metal machine, which will be a new empty virtual machine. So we need to prepare boot images, which will help in deployment of either 32-bit or 64-bit operating system, as well as we have to update the distribution point. In distribution point update, we just need to suppose in administration we're just gonna go for site, and for site and system roles we're gonna just go for distribution point here, and right click and properties. If we go there, there are many settings here that we need to check. PIXZ settings are here, we need to configure. So we're going to be doing some work on boot images, we're going to be doing some work on distribution points here, and also including either Windows 8 or Windows 7 ISO files, which you already have. So then we're going to be configuring lots of more areas here, and checking a full deployment here on Windows 7 machines. So excuse me, here when it comes to Windows 7, okay, CSIM setup is gone, and if I go and check control panel and system and security, yep, okay, the configuration manager is gone as well. So I'm just gonna restart, and The policy is still there, but the thing is that it's kind of frustrating that so up arrow GPO does not force while it is updating here with the correct file, because if we check the file manually, it just installed directly at the MSI file, and after that the client was there. So this means the assign portion of the policy is not working. We could have checked it with publish portion, because publish just shows it inside the control panel, right? But the assign portion, and maybe it's the group policy that's not reaching there. And as Shaochan also excuse me, wow, that was a big sorry. uh, Shaochan also gave this command, showed us this command, that rsop.msc. You can just check if the group policy has really implemented there or not. Well, there was that exclamation mark there. Now it's not there. So if it is completely silent and not even showing in this task manager, uh, then we just need to give it time. And if it's 1000 machines, definitely I would do this testing aggressively on my test environment on several Windows 7, Windows 8 machines, if it's a mixture in the production environment as well. And if so, it's not giving any indication. And while I did the manual installation as a test on this machine, it again at that time also did not give any CCM setup .exe showing here, right? So this means, and it installed successfully, and after that we saw the client was working. So maybe it's working. Wow, that's a very painful thing to say. Yeah, there's a good suggestion in the chat. Leave it overnight, you might get it. So but we can go to control panel, and sometimes it starts showing here while it's not fully deployed, but it can just show there. So definitely I would do just that, what Shaochan just so at least we could just put it at one place, that yes, it deploys it completely silent, and it takes forever. Oh no, let's not say that. It doesn't take forever, but I'm just gonna leave it there, so we can I'm just gonna keep it there, and keep the video running as well, and we can just finish the class now. But this could just, if it's taking time, I'm just gonna give it time, and I'm gonna shut the video if after like 15 minutes or 20 minutes, or okay, half an hour is too much. Okay, there's another comment in the chat. Maybe we need to apply the GPO to the domain instead of the OU. Really? Uh, well, that policy, assign policy, has to connect to any OU or domain. It's gonna work both in those areas, but it is our test environment. I would say that just link that policy to domain if you want to do that. Uh, and yes, in TechNet as well and everywhere, they just showed, hey, it works by connected to the domain actually. So, but if it works with domain, it must work with OU as well, and we can just put that to test. That's the beauty of our. I would recommend that go ahead and do that and test it, and let us know all actually in the group. Hey, it worked, and screenshot. Here's a screenshot, right? So okay, it's 10 o'clock. So we meet on Thursday and do the first major thing. Oh, we're gonna deploy some applications. Then we're gonna deploy an OSD or operating system as well. That's what SCCM is very famous for. But before that, we really try to figure out all the way we can deploy the client, because it can really give us hard time if, and you can see now what I meant. But anyway, if we get it right in the test environment, of course, it's gonna be easy there as well. And yeah, some PowerShell scripts I'm gonna be showing as well for deployment of client. And in fact, if I can send you, you can just try yourself as well. So okay. Good night for this class, and let's just be ready for the next apps and OSD. And I'm gonna send you all the upcoming courses as well, the exchange as well as SCCM next class. So if anyone else who missed it can join it, because many of the students are saying from other side that they want to do this. Uh, Oh yeah. So there's a video one I need to upload, which is it should be downloadable. So okay, good night everyone. So I'm just gonna do that too, and leave this here now to work. Welcome. Okay guys. So good night, and okay. So I'm gonna send everyone the upcoming courses information as well. So I'm pausing it now in the video, and I'll just look at it later. Okay. Good night everyone. So this video will be uploaded sometime tonight. Okay, you want the video tonight? Yes, Kishan. So yeah, yep. So tonight I will upload it. Right after this, I'm just gonna. It's rendering takes time, so but it's good that you pointed that out. I'm just gonna try to do it tonight. So guys, Shahab has tested it, and what he did was that on the policy we just right clicked it and clicked enforced. He did that and he tested on two machines. So if I click enforce here and put it to update slash force, hey, force is enforce, right? So anyway, so but yeah, the policy is now enforce as well, because force is not n, right? But I'm just kidding. So here, yeah, if we restart, then we would know. So yep, without that, so this recording is on, so I'm just gonna still test it, and making it happen is one thing that takes time and dedication. And thank you, Shahab, for confirming that. So this is good news. Under task manager, I still don't see the CCM setup, but the installation is going through. Okay, good. I mean, like, how else do you know that? Like, you're checking, Shahab. You're checking through control panel, right? Okay, great. So you may, yeah, in a new client you also tested that, and that client should be inside that OU only, right? Yeah. So just enforced it, and well, not expecting anything soon, but if it is, restarted that again. Yeah, nothing will be coming here, but processes, seriously. So for you, it just started right away, right? Like when you restarted that. Um, okay, one day it's gonna install. I'm sure about that. So so if it worked with you, yeah, as soon as I started. Okay, so it's my group policy then, guys. So try your own group policies. Restart. Maybe I have to restart my domain controller as well, but this is the way it is installed for Shahab, one of our students. So one of our classmates. So this means that it works. You just try that and try to make sure that it really works in the end. Okay, thank you guys. So, and thank you for confirming, Shahab. And I'm just gonna keep it paused here and wait for some more